Hi guys, it's Kiyako here, back with another speed build slash family character build. So this is a nostalgic sitcom concept, which I know sounds a little bit obscure and random, but let me just kind of explain what I'm doing here. First, I'm creating our sitcom family. This is the father I'm starting out with. And the reason I wanted to do this build is just because, I don't know, I was thinking about all the TV shows I grew up with, like Full House and The Brady Bunch and Gilmore Girls, and I don't know, a lot of sitcoms about families. I watched a lot of those growing up, and I watched them all kind of from different decades. Like I watched a lot of different time periods, you know, like Full House does not take place in the same time period as the Brady Bunch. So I wanted to create a sitcom concept for this family that I'm putting together now. First, I'm gonna, you know, create the family, then I'm gonna show you the house that I made for, you know, where their sitcom would take place. And just to give you an idea of what I'm doing is I'm actually creating like the characters themselves. I'm not like, these aren't like the actors playing the characters in the sitcom. Like you're not gonna see like cameras in the house or anything. This is just like in their world, this is the family, and you'll see the house that exists in their, you know, the world that's real to them. I know that sounds so weird, but you'll get what I'm saying as we go along. So this is the Gilmore family, which is, you know, inspired by Gilmore Girls. I always love that last name, Gilmore. I feel like it sounds, I don't know, it's just so fun to say, Gilmore, Gilmore. I don't know, it's like fun. Anyway, so this is a blended family in the sense that, so the mother, Sherry, and the father, Sam, both have kids from previous marriages. So they have their kids who are not related to each other, who are step-siblings, and then they have kids together. So like they have their shared children. I'm not explaining this very well. And then they have like, they live with Sam's mother. So it's kind of like this really big household. It's like 8 Sims, and it's a blended family. They're all from like different backgrounds. They have different, you know, histories with each other. So I just really like this concept of you know, a very unique, more modern take on this type of family because, you know, Full House and Gilmore Girls and you know, Brady Bunch, those are all very, very dated in certain aspects. And I wanted to do something that was a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated, a little bit more realistic of a modern American family. But given that it is more of a modern take, I still wanted to have those same nostalgic vibes that I felt watching those shows when I was growing up, in the sense of, you know, the style of comedy, the interior design, the set design, the costumes, and all that. So I'm going for a nostalgic feeling, and the reason I'm saying nostalgic and not a specific time period like the 60s or the 80s or whatever like that is because I took inspiration from a whole bunch of different time periods. And you can see that in the costumes and designs of the characters, and especially in their house that you're going to see later on. I was not trying to define the sitcom in one particular time period. So we'll talk about that more later. So you have the father, Sam. He is a firefighter. You have the mom, Sherry. She is like an art collector, like an art critic, something with art. And this is Sherry's eldest daughter. She is a young adult. Her name is slipping my mind right now. Oh, it's Amy. Her name is Amy Archer. She has a different last name because she's from a previous marriage from her mother. I'm gonna change her last name in a minute, but her name is Amy Archer. She wants to be an actress. She lives in an RV that's parked in her parents' backyard. So she has like her own space because she's a young adult, but she, you know, is also very close to the family. And this is Sam's son from his previous marriage. This is Bobby. Bobby, I figured, is like kind of like this goofball comedian. He's not, I don't know what I thought about his character. I thought that maybe he's like not very successful at what he does. Like he tries to be funny, but no one thinks he's funny. He's kind of like a musical comedian is what I imagine. Like he loves playing his guitar and his piano and just like coming up with like, you know, comedic songs and stuff. So that's Bobby. And I feel like him and the daughter, Amy, probably butt heads a lot. Like they have, you know, the brotherly sister bond, because I think their family has probably been together for a while. I think their parents have been married for a while, but they also butt heads here and there. This is Sam's elderly grandmother. She'll just be called like grandma by the kids and in the show, but I think her name is Doris is what I named her because that sounded like such an old-timey name. Doris. But for her, I figured that she is kind of old school. She's very proper and neat, but at the same time, she really does love her family. So she's a kind old lady, but I also feel like she can probably be a little bit overbearing sometimes. You know what I mean? And that way that they butt heads a lot too. So do you guys kind of see what I'm going for here with this whole family dynamic? Kind of like Full House, you know, where they all love each other and they're a very loving household, but they have personality traits that do conflict. So they're not like a perfect family, but they definitely are, you know, healthy and loving. But for Doris, as you can see, I'm making her very neat, very proper, and family oriented. So this is Douglas. He is one of the twin boys that Sherry and Sam had together. So I figured they call him Dougie. I always think Dougie is like such a cute little nickname for Douglas. But he is an athletic kid. He takes after his dad, who's a firefighter. So he always wants to, you know, play sports and, you know, go on jogs with his dad. I don't know. I just figured he's like an athletic, kind of cool, outgoing kid that a lot of other kids like. So that's Douglas. And if you know the whole trope of sitcoms and sitcom twins, his brother obviously has to be the exact opposite. So this is his brother, George, who I figured they would call Georgie, so Dougie and Georgie. He is kind of a nerd. He's very intelligent, you know, very focused on his academics and studies. I figured he's also very shy, and that way he and his twin brothers are opposites, so you can get like a lot of cool stories out of that for the different episodes of the show. This is the youngest little baby of the family. This is, oh my god, what's her name? Oh, Judy. Judy Gilmore. She is so cute. I figure she's very silly. She's very playful. She loves to like play little pranks and stuff like that. But this is the whole Gilmore family. I couldn't get quite a good picture of all of them in there. Bobby's a little bit in the back there, but here are some photos of them in the house, which you're gonna see me build in a minute. But yeah, they're loving. Look, oh, they love each other so much. Sherry and Sam, so cute. I love her hair. I freaking love her hair. The boys in their bedroom, and then we're gonna see, yeah, there's Amy in front of her RV. She looks so amazing. She looks so beautiful. I love her hair. And there's Bobby in his basement bedroom, but we'll see all that being built in just a second. So here I am putting together the house. As I said before, let me re-explain a few things, just to be absolutely clear. So this is not set in a particular time period. So you might be like, that looks very 60s, or that looks very 80s. Like, it doesn't always really match up. And again, that's just because I wanted to go for like a generally nostalgic vibe that wasn't like tied to a specific time period. By the way, if you hear meowing in the back, that is my cat. He's throwing a little bit of a temper tantrum, as he usually does. He broke into like the freaking pantry last night and like spilled rice all over the floor while we were sleeping. That's that freaking cat. I love him so much though. Anyways, so if you hear meowing, that's him meowing for me. But here I'm putting together the driveway. This is a pretty big house, but I mean, it kind of has to be because it's like 8 people who all live here together. What was I saying? Yeah, so the idea is that this is the house in their world. So it's not like I know I talked about like episodes and it being a sitcom and like that, but like I said, they're not actors. I'm not putting together a set right now. This is just like what I figured their home in this universe would look like. But here I'm just putting it together, putting in beams, I guess. This is a 1-story home, and there's gonna be like a huge backyard because, you know, Amy has to park her RV back there. And in the front, there's gonna be a garage where there's gonna be like this red, like, I don't know if it's like a Ferrari or just like a really red, like vintage fancy car that I figured is like the dad's like prized possession, is this old vintage car. But we'll see that later on as we go. So right now I'm just picking out my colors. The color palette on this build is kind of all over the place, but like it still works. In the sense that it doesn't, you know, drive me crazy because I'm so picky about color, but I feel like the color palette works. It just is a little bit more different than what I usually go for. There's like a more wider range of colors. I don't know. You'll see when we go inside. But here I'm just picking out the windows. It was a little bit difficult for me to figure out like the windows and doors, because in my mind I can't imagine what like nostalgic windows look like, so I just kind of have to wing it. I feel like these windows look nostalgic, I guess. And then we're gonna do the front, I don't want to call this a porch, it's just more like a front little entrance area that connects to the driveway. So I did this like interesting thing with this like half wall and the beams. This was based off of a photo I saw on Pinterest of like a 1970s house that had like a similar entrance area that was kind of like this. always check out Pinterest, you guys. If you need any inspiration for your builds, just get Pinterest, create a Pinterest board. I guarantee you will have an idea within like the hour. But here I'm putting in these little window covers, just, you know, because I like them. Gonna put in the little garden bed thing over here. And I'm just gonna put in my flower bushes. They're so beautiful. I love them. More flowers back there. I think I changed those. Yeah, I changed those to, let's see, these ones, which I thought fit a little bit better. And then we are going to put in, oh, that one, it's like a little thing of dirt and like little shovel thing I put there because I like I don't know, I just like adding in small touches like that to my builds to like indicate that maybe someone was just like gardening there or something, or I don't know. I just like adding in little details like that. Here I am just re-entering all my cheats because I couldn't figure out why my debug cheats weren't showing, but I got it working eventually. So here are all my debug menu items. Gonna put in this large wood fence all the way around so that they have like this big backyard space. And then we're going to close it off over there. So they do have a pool in the backyard. I should explain what I was really trying to go for here in designing like the elements of the home and like the different areas was I was imagining like in all the sitcoms that I watched growing up, the way that their houses were laid out. And what I realized is that they always add in a lot of things into homes that people don't usually all have at once, so that they have a lot of different locations and a lot of different opportunities for new storylines. Like for example, I'm gonna give them a pool and they have this RV and they're gonna have a basement and they have a garage, and they just have like all these different spaces where in a sitcom they could, you know, be and interact and travel to and just have different storylines placed in different places. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to give this space, I wanted to give the family a lot of space to have like opportunities for different storylines and episodes. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too deeply about this. It's not like I'm like filming this sitcom. I just like really like the idea of like putting this all together. I don't know, maybe I'll like show this video to like ABC or something and try to pitch a new sitcom and see what they say. See, I even gave them a little basketball hoop so that they could have like a little area where they like play basketball together, and that could be like a storyline, like the family basketball game could be a thing. I don't know. I mean, they don't have a lot of space here because of the RV, but you know, Amy needs her RV. By the way, if my voice sounds sore, it's because it is. I can't do anything about it. I'm very sorry that I sound like a frog. But yeah, anyways, so we are going to put in some balls now, and then we're going to briefly try to change the color of the pool, but I don't know, didn't really like the other color, so we just went with the blue water. I put that little raft, not the raft, but like the floaty chair thing, I don't know what you call those, a floatable? Is that what it's called? I don't think so. I do change out the RV for this one, which I thought looked a little bit more nostalgic looking with like the really interesting like 60s colored like the print on the curtains on that RV I thought were really cool. I'm gonna put in some more trees there, and then I'm gonna put in the little garage right here. And this is the garage where Sam, the father's vintage, very expensive, very valuable car will be kept. The car that I imagine is like his baby that he always, like there's always jokes about his baby, his car that he loves so much. And there'll be like all sorts of shenanigans involving the car, you know, like maybe Amy and Bobby like take it out one time to like impress their friends and it gets scratched and it's like a whole story. You know what I mean? Like I love thinking of like all these different little you know, situations and episodes that could happen here for this family. I love the Gilmores. I love them. I think I would watch this show, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if anyone else would watch this show, but I would definitely watch this show. I would have so much fun with this. Yeah, I haven't seen a good sitcom in a while, you know? Like, I feel like the classic family sitcom isn't really a thing anymore, or maybe it is, and I just don't watch it. I don't know. I don't have cable, so maybe that's more like a cable TV thing, because they don't really have those on like Netflix and stuff. So maybe I just like I'm not around it anymore to like see if there's like modern sitcoms. Like I know there's Modern Family, which I love Modern Family. But you know, I really like the idea, like the classic, like the really old school sitcoms where it's like, you know, in the past and everything's so nostalgic and old, and I miss that era of television in terms of like the style, you know? But I'm putting together the basement. I'm just gonna put in some walls. So Bobby sleeps in the basement, which isn't an ideal bedroom, to be honest. I would not like to sleep in a basement just because of the lack of windows, and I probably feel kind of claustrophobic. But I feel like Bobby probably likes it. I feel like he's like a basement guy. I don't know what that means, but he feels like a basement guy to me. Putting in my wood floors. I put a different wood for the basement just because I figured it would be more like an older, less like taking care of space. I love that tile in the kitchen. I feel like it's so beautiful, like the checkered, the dark red. Absolutely lovely. Here I'm choosing my wallpapers. It kind of took me a minute to figure out like what the heck I was doing here. Honestly, I had a lot of trouble with tone at first because I hadn't yet really settled on what specific time period I was going for. And like I said, at the end of the day, I just kind of decided that it would be all time periods. I mean, except for like super modern time periods. It's really, I mean, my biggest inspirations were the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Those were the biggest inspirations for the aesthetic of this build. And it's interesting because I feel like different time periods come out more clearly in different rooms than others. Like, I feel like the living room, which you'll see me build in just a minute, is very 60s, 70s, but like certain areas are very, I don't know, 80s. I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think of this build. It's this is an interesting video that I'm putting out today because this is just like a weird TV show concept. I really feel like I should frickin' pitch this to ABC and see if I can get this made. If just so that I can watch it, you know? But here I am trying to choose a rug for my living room. As you can see, I have that old-fashioned fireplace that I absolutely adore. I love that fireplace. And then I have that really cute little box TV next to it. And then I'm gonna put in this sectional couch, which I absolutely love. As you can see, my color palette is starting to come together here. You see how it's like kind of unusual, but it also kind of works? Because it's like this dark red, and then we got like our interesting like orangey wood tone, and then we got like this yellow rug, and then this like aqua blue, you know? Like, it's a very weird color palette, but it kind of works. I feel like it works. I hope it works. Please tell me that it works. But I am putting in, I'm trying to choose my flower here. It took me forever to pick a flower vase to put, but I put that one in the end because I thought that the yellow of the flowers matched the TV absolutely perfectly. And then I'm just gonna pop in a broom in the kitchen for no reason. And then here I'm trying to choose a painting that'll go on the wall behind the TV. I go with this one because obviously it has all my colors in the color palette. Gonna put on these curtains, which you are going to see everywhere in this build. I use the same curtains like in every room here. Popping in a side table here, and then I'm gonna put in a lamp, I believe. Yes, this lamp, which I thought was very, very cute. And then we're going to put in a pile of mail, I guess, on that side table. I guess they have a lot of mail that they haven't gone through. This is a little child's pen thing, you know, where like you put a baby to like chill. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like a baby pen. I don't know what you call it. It's like a cage for your child. I mean, like, Judy is a toddler, so I don't think you'd put like a toddler in one of these. I think it's more for like babies. But, you know, I liked how it looked. I like the designated play area for her, so she'll be put in the pen, I guess. Putting some paintings on my wall just to, you know, fill the wall space. And then over here, we're gonna pop in a little, what's it called? A rack? Yeah, a clothing rack. So, you know, you can walk through the door, hang up your coat. And then we're going to pop in a little rug. I do actually change this rug later. I just wasn't really feeling it, so I do change that later. I'm gonna put in a little, what's it called? I'm forgetting so many words today. Just a side chair. This one I thought was really interesting because it just has a very, you know, unique vibe to it. It looks very like retro futuristic. I think it's so cool. This is where we're gonna have our dining room. It's also where all the bedroom slash that one bathroom door lead. And I like having all the bedroom doors next to each other because like in a sitcom that works perfectly, right? Because then you have this like central area where people are coming in and out. So it can like, you know, people can bump into each other. People can like accidentally like go in the wrong room. Like I feel like it's a great situation creator. I don't know. I was trying to think a lot about how like the layout of this house could like play into storylines, and I feel like I put together some ideas that could work. I'm gonna put on, let's see, this is just like a little thing I hung on the wall that's like a little forest fire notice. I don't know, I thought that was cute. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, just gonna put that dresser there and then a mirror back here. I love this circle mirror. I love circle mirrors. I don't know why. Mirrors are just better when they're circles. A little clock on the wall and then a little plant in the corner, just because I wanted to fill up every corner so we didn't have like a lot of negative space. And then we're going to do, what are we doing now? The bathroom. This bathroom is really interesting. I don't know, like the color of the walls is so, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of Y2K to be honest. Kind of reminds me of the early 2000s for some reason. But I still think it works in terms of just like the overall aesthetic. I'm gonna choose a shower curtain. I went with that one because I thought it had like a very interesting vintage vibe. Gonna hang up some towels. This is the only bathroom in the entire house, so it would probably be a lot messy. Oh no, there's a bathroom in the basement. I just remember that. Never mind. But I mean, it's like for 8 people, 2 bathrooms is still not a lot, so that bathroom should probably be messier than I made it, but you know. You guys know how I feel about bathrooms. I don't like spending a lot of time on them. This is Douglas and George's room, so it's the twin boys' room. This is Douglas's bed. He is the more athletic one, so I kind of did the cliche of giving him like a certain color palette and then George a certain color palette. So Douglas's color palette is like all like oranges and reds, which I thought was, you know, complimentary towards his very strong, outgoing personality. You can see I gave him a soccer ball and a basketball and just like a random ball under his desk because he's a sporty, athletic kid. I put a little phone on the TV there really quick, but you'll see that later. I also gave him a basketball lamp, which is, or a, what's it called? A soccer lamp, which is a little, a little silly, but I thought that was cute. And then the other half of the room will be George's side of the room. They're kind of like Zach and Cody, to be honest, in terms of like what I was imagining for the opposites of their personality. Like George is definitely Cody and Douglas is definitely Zach in terms of just like, you know, the athletic versus the genius cliche in shows. But obviously this is his side of the room. He has a book. He has, you know, I don't want to say, I don't know what that is. Chemical structures. He has a poster of some chemical stuff on his wall. A little fan because I guess his genius heats up his brain. He needs a fan to cool down. I don't know, that was a weird thing to say. This is his desk. They each have their own desk. His is obviously gonna be a little bit more organized. He has a cup of coffee. He's definitely the kind of kid who like drinks coffee and like does his homework and like writes like full-on dissertations when he's like 12. Like he's like definitely a super genius. Gonna give him that little science project there. I'm gonna give Douglas some of his own lesser impressive science projects. And then we're going to put together this shelf here. What I figured for the shelf is that the right side of the shelf was assigned to George by their parents and the left side was assigned to Douglas. So the right side is going to be a lot more organized and have a lot more books, whereas the left side is going to be very random and have just kind of cluttered stuff. So as you can see, you can already see this distinction here. The left side has like a freaking like box of toast on it. And the right side has like all these books and files and pencils and, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's a robot head. I freaking love Douglas, man. I'm already doing an LP, but if I wasn't doing an LP, I'd probably do this as an LP. But this is, now we're moving on to the grandma's room. So this is Grandma Doris. And for her room, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I kept it pretty simple because, like I said in her description, I felt like she was a very like classic, proper, old school kind of lady. So I wanted her room to reflect more of her reservedness. I feel like she probably, like, even though she is very loving and takes care of her family, I do feel like she probably has a little bit of that like grumpy old person stereotype about her. You know what I'm talking about? Like in TV shows or sitcoms a lot. You know how there's always cliches for certain types of characters. There's always like the grumpy old man cliche, and I really like it for like the grumpy old grandma. And I just thought that would be cool. I don't know. This is the parents' room. It is also where Judy will be sleeping in a crib. I know that toddlers sleep in like separate toddler beds in this game, but I couldn't really fit it in, so I just kind of put it in a crib, and we're just gonna pretend she's a little bit small and a little bit younger than she is. But I actually forgot about the crib until later, so I'm gonna complete this room and then come back to it and put in a crib, but you'll see that later on. I gave them a little sewing machine, a little sewing desk, because I figured if this is more like nostalgic times, sewing was much more of a thing. I don't know. Wasn't it? I don't know. So I gave them a little sewing area so they can like fix clothes and maybe make clothes. And yeah. So we're gonna put in a rug. What rug are we gonna go with? This one? I don't remember. And we're gonna put in, let's see, a wardrobe, and oh, I love this chair. I freaking love this chair. I've never used this chair in this particular color, like that aqua color, but it actually worked for the color palette, so I was very happy to finally be able to use that chair in that particular color palette. We are in the kitchen now. I love these counters. I haven't, I actually just like downloaded these, so this is the first time I'm using these counters, and I think they're so cool. I love them. I paired them with these vintage looking cabinets, and then I'm just gonna put in some various things. I put in that pie, gonna put in a hanging sponge, I guess. Just various things that look like they would belong in the kitchen. A thing of corn. They're eating corn and pie and pizza and mashed potatoes. What a family. I love these people. I'm gonna put in some curtains, obviously the same curtains you see in every other room, and then I'm just gonna put in a little table here, just a little kitchen table, and then this room back here, or no, we're gonna put in the crib really quick. So this is the crib where Judy will sleep. It is, you know, oh, did I not put it in? Oh, I guess I'm gonna put it in later. No, I'm gonna put it in now. No, I'm gonna put it in later. No, now, okay. That was so confusing. All right, we're gonna do Judy's crib. Gonna put in that one. I wish I had some older, like vintage looking cribs, but I honestly just didn't. So just went with that one, which I still feel likes work. I still feel like it works. Wow, that was hard to say. This is Sherry's office. She is, like I said, like an art collector, like an art critic. I feel like she works for like art in some capacity, you know, like she's like an art, maybe she works for like an art gallery. I don't know. I just wanted her to work for an artist, or like, I don't know, because I like the idea that her job entails her meeting a lot of interesting, weird artists who like would like come to her office here to meet with her, right? And I love that idea for the sitcom, because then it gives like the family like an opportunity to like interact with very strange, weird people on a daily basis. It could be like a running gag or something in the show, like all these weird people she brings home. I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. And now we are in the basement. This is going to be Bobby's room. So this is his like personal bathroom, I guess, but I think everyone in the family can just use it. But it is gonna be a little bit messier since it is like the bathroom that he uses the most, and I figure that he's kind of like this messy, messy little teenage boy. I don't remember if I specified before, but Amy is a young adult, so she's not in high school, but Bobby is still in high school, so he's just a high school teenager. Putting together his room now, like I said before, he wants to be a comedian, and I figured that he's like a musical comedian, like he likes writing funny songs and stuff like that, so you're gonna see me put in some instruments for him in a second. I gave him his own little TV box, and then we're going to put in a mirror. I really like the wood walls. Like, I know that's a very vintage like look, like having the wood paneled walls, and I feel like it works pretty well here. I'm gonna put in, let's see, some stuff on the wall. We are almost about done with this build, guys. Just hang on to the very end so you guys can see the screenshots. Gave him a piano, and then this little room down here, which is where you walk right down the stairs to, is just a little laundry room so that the family has a place where they can do laundry, which is pretty important for a house of 8 people. You need a place to do laundry. And that is almost it. We're gonna finish up the garage. This is Sam, the father's prized possession. It is his baby. It is his classic vintage red car. He absolutely loves it, and it could be used for so many different storylines. But yeah, as we are finishing up this video, please let me know what you think of this video, because I mean, this video is so random. No one asked for this. No one asked for any of my videos. It's just like random things that come into my head. I'm like, oh, I should like pitch a sitcom to you guys and see what you think. Is this a sitcom that you guys would watch? What do you think of the family? Do you like the Gilmores? Do you like the house? Like, what are different situations you think that could happen to them, you know? I feel like this would be really fun to watch. I don't know. Now I feel like I want to go like watch Full House or Modern Family. Yeah. But anyways, as always, please leave any, you know, requests, you know, comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want me to do a different build, or, you know, a different sitcom or a different story. I don't know. Just let me know. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.